Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Birds on a Blue Note. I am here with two fellow captains. I got my buddy RJ, and we also have welcome tonight Ian. He is the San Diego Padres community captain, and we are here tonight to talk about this upcoming San Diego Cardinals series, and I mean it's great too because these are two of the, I would say, top mid-market teams in the league. Ultimately, the people that pretty much everybody else are trying to be year in, year out. We may not have the results that our fans want to show for it, but you know, it's hard to compete with the Dodgers and the Yankees spending year after year. Let's say
That's a
that.
truth. Agreed.
Preller does a good
And the
job going
Phillies
after those shiny
offseason.
objects. We'll get to him in a bit.
Absolutely.
But obviously your Padres, Ian, have been on a bit of a tear in August and really since the All-Star break, man. Like you guys were sitting on the outside looking in, it seems like just a month or so ago. I mean, tell us about this ride that you guys have been on so far.
Wow. What's there to say that? Well, first of all, we're very ecstatic, right? What a difference the last month has been for this franchise. We were regularly winning series. We sort of approached series to take two out of three, and we were doing a really good job of that, but still wasn't really making any ground. Anytime we sniffed the 500 mark, we would trip up and lose 4 games, and then now we're scrambling to get back to even again. And then we get that break finally, the All-Star break, and it must have been exactly what they needed because they go out and I think they won 22 out of 26 games. And it wasn't just against your White Sox and Athletics. They were against they were in Baltimore, they were in Pittsburgh, they were flying across the country and just laying the hammer down and doing it in heroic fashion. They they like to every one of us here are super excited and also probably drinking a lot more, getting more gray hairs. But that's baseball. We are all really getting a taste of the beauty of baseball, which
You
is,
guys had the walk off tonight too. It's pretty exciting. So
yeah, yeah, Jackson Merrill. I can go on and on about him, but yeah, he comes up clutch again, right? Just like this guy's barely 21 years old and he's out there swinging against Edwin Diaz and taking the game himself. So yeah, we're really, really fortunate. Today we both come away with wins, which is great. Both in ninth inning comebacks, so it feels good. That's like a taste of what we've been feeling now for about a month.
Nice. And obviously you guys have our old manager at the helm, Mr. Mike Shildt. Lot of sour taste left in some people's mouths, especially with Ollie at the, helm. We have been very vocal about our displeasure for him, but I mean, tell us,
have we?
um, tell us that we're not having buyer's remorse or like grass isn't greener with Schultz. I mean, what are you seeing with him at the helm for you guys? Is this
Well,
more,
first,
or is this the players doing their job finally? Because you guys have a pretty guard dog roster, like
yeah, no, it's a fair question, and we're sort of unraveling this one game at a time because as a manager, that's really all you're good for. What have you done for me lately? But now we have a little bit of perspective, right? There's only 30 games left in the season, so looking back, Schilt has really given this team what they've needed. And whatever that is, whether it's a voice, right? Whether it's consistency, right? We've had Bob Melvin now for the last couple of years. And last year, especially, he would just consistently change the lineup. You didn't know if you were batting first, second, third, seventh, day to day, you change it. Schilt is very consistent. You're batting second every single day. You're playing this position every single day until you need a day off. He's very consistent. He goes to the bullpen. He makes decisions that we question and wonder about, like how is this going to play? And this year it's worked out. So when
Yeah,
it
we've
works,
seen that too with him.
yeah,
Alex Reyes as our closer, no matter what, even when he hasn't been good lately. And the the wild card round against the Dodgers, and Taylor walked us off, and we were all like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
But that
There's
makes
the
sense. It's
other
it's
edge to that.
funny how you look at the other side of things from another fan base's point of view, how that they're like, "Oh yeah, we like this consistency," and then we are over here like, "Why are you betting Carpenter again?" Like we don't want him playing every day. That's funny, but I mean, yeah, it seems to have worked out great for you guys. Obviously, we're chasing you and a couple other wild card contenders and people. It's funny this year with the third wild card of the National League. You get like the top two or three teams, then like everyone else kind of lumped together in like two bottom feeders. So it should make for a fun last month of the season. So hopefully we're still in it. As you said, getting the walk off today. Well, both of us getting to the ninth inning comebacks is pretty cool. Obviously, we want the Mets to lose also because we're chasing them too. So did us a little bit of a favor there.
Yeah, I wish we should have done better. Yeah, this last series was a four-gamer. We ended up splitting at home, which doesn't leave a great taste in our mouth. It was a slugfest. We were going back and forth, and I think iron sharpens iron. So if today was any indication of the energy that our team's going to start employing here moving forward, it's going to be a tough task to the Padres because you can never count these guys out. Eighth inning, ninth inning, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the lead is. You blink, and these guys will scratch and claw. And they're not perfect. They're definitely not. They have flaws. Their starting pitching is still up in the air. Like looking ahead, tomorrow's TBA, so we got TBA pitching tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just
Before,
looking at that too. Is the matchup Gibson versus who knows?
yeah, we'll find out. It
Yeah,
was Waldron. Waldron, our knuckleballer, who you may have heard of. Good for him bringing back the knuckleball, right? And he's done a great job. He just lately has stunk it up. And we suspect him being a rookie, his arms just kind of tired, right? So we're getting him some rest. We sent him down AAA for it. So tomorrow, TBA. But then we're back to our regular rotation of Dylan Cease. Joe Musgrove's back. His last start was, if it's any indication of how he's going moving forward, watch out for him. And then King on game 4. So starting pitching's looking pretty decent. The bullpen is the strength of this team. Um, they rarely cough up many runs. Today was a great example of when Shildt went to the bullpen in the fourth inning, I think it was. So long bullpen day, and they're in game 7 of 18 in a row. So you don't want to be messing with your bullpen that much and exhausting it if you don't need to. But it was a one-run deficit. He felt the need to go ahead and spend 5 innings in the bullpen, and it paid off. Right. Those are the decisions that Schultz have been making that have worked. If we ended up not getting it, then the pitchfork could have came out. We would have been questioning, is he the right manager? He's making the right choices, but things are just working right now.
Gotcha. I mean, one of my biggest issues that I had with him, I mean, his first year he didn't do it as much because it was obviously, he's a bit more green with a lot of the players, but he started to play a lot of favorites as time went on with his tenure here, and especially with the arms in the bullpen, he started overusing certain guys. His reasoning when he threw Reyes in the playoffs was that he just felt he deserved it after the season he had had. Not because the matchup was good, just felt like he deserved it. It's like playoffs aren't the time to give a guy an inning because he deserves it,
You got a great point. So, thinking about that, right? You got managers that use their heart, they use their feel, right? They look at a player's body language, they look at whatever it is that they rely on versus Dave Roberts or somebody who uses analytics and constantly just chases the matchup,
Yeah.
leaving all the other stuff away, right? So I think a good manager is somebody who knows when to use one and know when to use the other. Not could be so stubborn.
True. Yeah, you can't really get stuck in one way in this game because it changes real quickly. There is no golden answer. Otherwise, Yankees would have found it a long time ago and kept winning
No kidding.
championships.
Right. Exactly.
Dodgers wouldn't be spending 200, 300 annually to not have a championship, to have one
How much time
championship.
Right. How much time do we have to talk about how the Dodgers have floundered and fell on their face year after year, trying to employ this strategy? I can go on and on about that.
Oh, I
Oh
could
yeah.
too. It's funny. I know you guys are like the whole fan base is a bunch of Dodger haters. I mean, you won't find a bigger Dodger hater from the Cardinals side of things than me. I think what they're doing to baseball is bad for the game ultimately, but that's gonna be probably for another episode. I'll probably rant for 30 minutes and cry about it. Uh,
As we all are. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, best to Shohei, I guess. He got hurt tonight. Well, I think he's
Mm.
fine. We'll see. I mean, I don't hate Shohei, but I just kind of
No.
hate that he's on the Dodgers. It's
Yeah. Right.
those
You love
things.
Shohei, right? But God, the Dodgers, man, God.
Fastest 40-40 season ever, really? First
I
year in the
know.
Dodgers. It
I
had to
want to
be
root for him, but I don't want to root for him. I
it's a
don't know.
Dodger.
It's
He
weird.
painted himself as a villain and he
Exactly.
deferred all that money to go there too, which kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, did we really need to do this for a super team that could afford him anyway? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta ask you something, Ian. I mean, you guys are having a great year, and let's be real, as Padre fans, and I mean, me being a SoCal boy myself, like I've seen you guys struggle quite a bit, especially with the Giants and the Dodgers pretty much having a stranglehold for the last decade. But I mean, you guys are finally putting it together with that roster that Prellers might have found some synergy with, and I mean, you're still in third in the NL West. Like nothing against you guys. It's just
Yeah.
like that is a
That's packed.
freaking tough as hell division to be in this year. Like
Yeah.
I
how
forgot.
does that feel to you guys knowing that you are still having a bit of an upward climb right now, you know?
Well, I tell you, it feels great that we're winning. It feels great that we are holding our own. Third place, yeah, it's just a number. We worry about the next game and what we can control, getting in the playoffs, because our team is built for the playoffs. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you're the seventh seed or the first seed, whether they need time off or don't need time off. There's that whole debate, but they're going to come swinging, and I put them against just about anybody. The way they've been playing, the way they show they have been playing, and you're right. This team is remarkably different than last year's. On paper, we shouldn't be playing as good. They've dropped, I think, 90 million in payroll from last year. They had the NL Cy Young Award winner last year. They had one of the game's best closers last year, Juan Soto, right, MVP vote getters, and couldn't put the energy together, the team, the brotherhood, the love to fight for each other for whatever reason. We can speculate on what that was, but here we are now. We seem to have found the magic potion. These guys are and with a cast that you don't really expect. Our best players are one was a last minute pickup right before spring training for almost league minimum $1 million in Jerickson Profar. This guy's playing out of his mat, MVP caliber, and he's got career highs in every stat on his on the back of his card. You've got a freshly turned 21-year-old that's being compared to Jackie Robinson and Mel Ott. I mean, this guy is Mr. Clutch. Today was his fifth game tying or go ahead home run in the ninth inning or later, which leads all of Major League Baseball. He's the youngest ever to do it in the
Wild.
history of MLB.
Didn't realize
I
there's
mean,
that many. Holy smoke.
yeah, this guy. Yeah,
Well,
so I
they can
mean,
have five as a team all season over here. It's like, oh man, that hurts.
well, that was us last year, right? So I mean, that's how baseball is. You can
You
be
gotta love it.
you gotta love it because on paper you can go out there like, hey, last year we were all screaming Padres after the NLCS 2022. 23 was our year. We were already declaring World Series champions, and you didn't even make the playoffs, right? And here we are this year with a bunch of rookies and ragamuffins playing out of control baseball and just being dogs. So you just never know. And you hope to be on the winning side of it. And right now we are really jazzed. And Looking forward to playing St. Louis. Love St. Louis. Love the fans. Great baseball town. San Diego and St. Louis has a lot of ties there. We lost our NFL franchises, right? So this is our team. This is what we
Yeah.
love. This is what we talk about. This is when you go out and get coffee. You got strangers over there talking about Jackson Morrell's walk off, right? The energy is really good in the city right now, which is really cool.
I was literally driving past Friars Road last weekend, and it was just like Qualcomm used to be right. It's just like I remember tailgating over there. Yeah, it's just, and I mean, we got the Rams gone. I mean, at least they're here in LA, so I can still go and see them. But
Here in
I know
LA,
that's
I'm
a
in St.
real
Louis still,
sour
buddy.
point for a lot of St. Louis fans.
Super sour.
Yeah. Yeah, screw that guy. What was his
Yeah.
name?
Stan
Cranky.
Kroenke. Yeah, it's
Cranky. What a
douche.
jerk.
It's funny you talk about it. I was
That's a curse word. That's a
interviewed.
curse word in St. Louis. Crunky's a
Yeah.
curse word, man.
Yeah.
I
So
was
is
the first tailgater of
name.
the season for the last year the Rams were in St. Louis. Half my body was painted blue and the other half was yellow. And the local Fox radio station interviewed us out there at 4 in the morning. And they're like, "Yeah, what do you think about Cranky possibly moving the team?" I'm like 6 beers deeper, like at 4 in the morning.
Boy, boy. I love it.
Um, we
That's
did want to
awesome.
chat about Soto and everything. Obviously, like you said, I mean, you guys put in a huge bid for him a few years ago, outbid us. So we flew like half of our front office staff out to Washington trying to get that deal, and you guys snaked it out from under us. Props to Preller, but you guys gave up a bit of a king's ransom. I mean, how does it feel looking back on that contract? Like, was it worth it? You know,
Hmm.
I'll kick it to you.
Yeah, so jury's still out on that trade years later because it's evolving, right? After flipping Soto, now we have active living pieces that are the byproduct of that. So depending on how those work out, to be determined. We did give up quite a bit, and I didn't realize that St. Louis was in the running because that was it. I remember it literally happened like the last hour of the trade deadline, didn't it? Wasn't it
Dude,
like
don't
right
get
at
our
the end?
fans started. They
Yeah.
all Dylan Carlson was one piece of that trade of like a 4 or 5 person trade, and they all keep talking about the fact that he was like this like key player when he was really just like
The
an
problem with the Dylan
additional piece.
Carlson thing is because just a moment here, the Dylan Carlson, John Mozeliak specifically named him is the problem as part of the package. He said, "From my cold dead hands, you'll get Dylan Carlson." So people just ran with that, and they thought, well, it's just Dylan Carlson that hung up the trade, but really it was probably Jordan Walker too, and maybe like a Mason Wynn, and maybe an earlier Tink Hens, but none of those names were ever confirmed aside from Carlson, which created this whole problem who's now on the Rays, and we got peanuts for him. So it's
Oh
just
man.
funny. Didn't work out at all for us, but yeah.
Everybody's like
And like
Washington wanted Carlson. We should have just given him to him. It's like no.
earlier this year, it's like, dude, I would trade Dylan Carlson for some big league chew right now. I just don't want him on my team anymore. I'm sorry. I know he's playing well now. Go figure. It keeps happening. But,
Yeah. Well, that's baseball, and those are prospects, right? So
Yeah.
when you put a package together that's enticing enough to get one of the game's best baseball players, it's going to take a lot, especially at the time he had the rest of that year plus 2 more, right? So 2.5 years of eligibility. That's not something to take a stick at. That's a lot of time. And looking back, we gave up 2, 3, 4, I think, first round or top 100 talent. 2 of them were already graduating from that list. And gosh, sorry guys, it's
CJ Abrams over there,
CJ Abrams. Thank
Washington,
you.
is finally kind of coming around, having a great year. That's
Yeah,
the guy I wanted to
kid's a
bring up.
stud. Kid's a stud.
Yeah.
He was picked like sixth or seventh in the draft in 2019 or 20. And so yeah, he's a great talent. He defensively still has some room for improvement, but offensively he's quick. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got contact. He's coming around. C.J. Woods was another one. He not C.J. Sorry,
Is it James? I think it's
James Woods. Thank you,
James. Yeah.
James Woods.
Sounded
He was
right.
he was part of that package. That was the one that I really didn't want to include. That was probably what sweetened the pot because he was projected to be high power, which is turning out to be. Right? So if he ends up connecting like he should and putting up 35 home runs, then yeah, we probably overpay for him. But looking right now, we wouldn't have Michael King on our roster. We had to get package from the Yankees gave us
Yankees,
Michael
yeah.
King. They gave us Drew Thorpe, which was a top 100 prospect. We flipped for Dylan Cease. So we wouldn't have Cease, we wouldn't have King, we would have some bullpen pieces that are kind of shaping up, and those are two of our best pitchers this year. Let's see, Cease is got a 3.43, pretty decent ERA. He leads the league in strikeouts. And King's got a 3.14. This guy is really coming around. He's tops of his innings already, so to see how his arm plays out the rest of the year. But those two guys are key components in our team.
It's funny you bring up King too, because that was one of the pieces that I found really interesting when he traded Soto to the Yankees, because he got flipped to a starter, I think, for the first time in his career last season. And he had like a 9-1, 10-1 stretch with the Yankees. And they were kind of like, I don't want to say they were starved for pitching, but at that time they had a bunch of people underperforming. So I was surprised to see them let go of one of their more reliable starters. But I guess if it's a Juan Soto, it's a Juan Soto. But yeah, it's surprising. I wish you guys
Yeah,
would have pulled Jason for him, but
yeah.
I
Well,
thought
and
the
I think
same
he was
thing.
injured at the time too, right? The mutant, right? A lot of
Yeah,
people were talking like, "Oh, it's Soto. Like you can ask for whatever you want. They're gonna have to bow down to you." I'm really glad that they got King out of the package, and AJ trading Soto wasn't waving the white flag. It was, let's turn him into serviceable MLB talent so we can win now.
quick
King,
retool. Yeah,
yeah, King is a retool, right? So he's done great this year. We still got him for another. Like he's still arbitration eligible. Same with Dylan Cease. So now we have total flexibility with our payroll this year, next year. We're going to be under the salary tax, which has been uh, 3, 4 years running now. We've been over it. So finally resetting that, getting our first round picks back, getting our second round picks back that we've been, getting our knees chopped out from underneath us. How do you afford all this talent without any young talent like Merrill coming up? You need that, right? So done a great job flipping Soto as best as he could. So AJ for executive of the year so far.
It was a good job. I mean, as much as AJ likes to go after his shiny objects, he does a pretty good job of letting them go. He doesn't try to hold on and hoard them. He's not a hoarder GM. He knows when a guy's getting ready to go and he's not going to re-sign. And like them moving from Soto was the best thing you guys could have done. He wasn't gonna stay there. He wasn't staying in San Diego. Not a freaking chance in the world,
not for
so.
No,
400
he's made
mil.
it clear.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
yeah, he's going to get it with the season he's having now too. I'd be surprised, or I'd be shocked really if he goes for anything less than 400, especially with Shohei signing 700 and as a DH. We'll see, I
Well,
guess.
it just depends on how much he's willing to defer, man. If you're willing to defer 30
Yeah,
out of 35 million a year, yeah.
we'll probably never see that again. He makes so much money on endorsements, he can afford it.
I, honestly, you're gonna see it from established vets, guys who already have 40, 50 million in the bank that are all nice and settled. They don't need to worry about getting an extra 30 million a year. They'd rather have that on the back end of their life, because they're already set and they have their accountant whispering in their ear, you don't need more money right now.
This is some
Save
I hope
it.
that's handled in the next CBA though, because if this is a continuous thing that keeps happening, it's going to absolutely break the league. I think, in my opinion. But I did want to bring up I mean, we're here talking to the Padres captain. What's your guys' perspective on the upcoming series against us Cards? Like, do you think that we should just win easily, or are you kind of like, oh, they're kind of fighting Kalon for wild card too? What's the tempo like over there, the temperature on the card series?
Sure. So, no, the Cards are a great team, very talented. They always play hard. No easy wins, especially in St. Louis with that fan base, very knowledgeable fans. So, it's a 4-game series, which is, it's going to be a dogfight. The energy is good on the plane right now, obviously, with that walk off, and the string of them, right? That's just compounding. But they have lost 5 out of the last 10, so they're kind of playing 500 ball in general. So the question is, what team are you going to find, right? When they show up and land the plane and get out of the hotel, who's going to show up that day? Is it going to be the ones that never give up, or it can be the ones that just have a clunker every now and then and play 500? So I think 2 out of 4 is kind of where they deserve to be thought of at the moment because that's how they've been playing until otherwise, I'm hoping for 3 out of 4 as a fan, obviously. I mean, I'm sure you are too, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Fighting
absolutely.
for a playoff spot is this is the time. There's 30 games left, guys. This is the time where teams need to figure out if they want to put in, they're tired, it's hot, it's muggy, they're miserable. We're playing 18 games in a row. They're flying all over the country. um, they need to decide like how serious do they want this, and the next 30 games are going to showcase that. So this could be
Wait,
just the catalyst that our team needs, or it could be the catalyst that your team needs. It just depends. But this is going to be you're going to get a rough and rabble team that steals bases, that swings early, that dives for balls, that will break their bodies to win a game, and that's the kind of series you're going to have.
you're probably not going to get that as much from our guys right now. They haven't really been showing that much. You know it's true, RJ, man. Like
It's
we might
funny.
show it 1 game out of 5, and then the rest, it's like they're out there just going through the motions sometimes, and you're just wondering like what the vibe in our clubhouse is like. But
We've
we
had
got
some
about
questionable
5.
management decisions too, though, that may bring bad vibes back. I don't know how much you've heard about the demotion of Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman within a week span of each other. As a
No.
very hot topic over here. A lot of debate over it. Um, well, not even debate. Most people thought it was dumb, but it's just strange. Like we've been a weird team all year. We started off terrible. Nobody was hitting. We couldn't beat anybody. And then we had like a stretch from like Mother's Day for about a month and a half. We were the best team in the league. And then now we're kind of on this sour stretch post All-Star break where we're again not that good. But then again, we just took 2 of 3 from the Twins and the Brewers, who are both playoff teams. But prior to that, we lost to what, the Reds and the Royal. It doesn't make any sense. We lose to the bad teams and play well against the good ones.
We
It's
play to
a
we
strange
played at
year.
a competition level this year is the
We
best
do
way.
too. Guys, you know who we suck against? The Rockies. Okay? The Rockies are our kryptonite. So if we had played them, we wouldn't be in the playoffs this year. So you just come across teams that are like that, and sometimes you come across teams that you end up bringing the best out of you. So hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers. That's what we end up doing for each other. And one of the teams clicks, figures it out. You guys have won last 2 series in a row, 2 out of 3 against good teams. We have lost one, won one, split one, so we're kind of floundering, kind of playing 500 ball. So I'd say the momentum's in your court. You got home field advantage. You have the ability to string a 6-week playoff bound, team together. At least you have in the past, so it's possible. What could happen? Oh, some beautiful baseball.
Yeah, we hope so over here. It's been a lot of not great news for the last month of the season for us. So we need the kind of the kick in the right direction. But yeah, like hats off to the Padres and what they've been able to put together. I mean, you guys are what, 16, 18 games over 500. I don't think anyone really expected that after, like you said, you guys flipped Soto. You let you just let the Cy Young walk. I mean, you had Hader, he's gone.
Had
It's
the
strange.
had the money issues in the off season that were well reported. Uh,
Yeah, no
you
good
guys
news.
lost your TV deal with Bally's too, except thankfully League stepped in and covered you guys, so at least you've been getting some non-Bally's coverage, which must be nice over
Yeah,
there.
right.
Um,
MLB came in and helped with that.
but we got just under 3 minutes left. Any final thoughts, guys? I mean, I'm excited for the series.
Yeah, same. I'm happy that they're in an 18 game stretch right now because it's baseball every day. I with the way they're playing, I just want to I'm gonna come home. I want to turn the TV on. I'm gonna watch this team and see what they're capable of. So I'm looking forward to it. Love St. Louis, man. You guys are great fans, super knowledgeable, really good fans. Um, I always root for the Cardinals when they're playing, not the Padres. But yeah,
Shout
you
out to
guys are
Petco,
good.
one of the best, most beautiful stadiums in all of the league. I love visiting that place all the time.
It's on
Great
my
Uh,
list.
food,
I don't live in
great.
Cali like
Oh
Trev over
man,
here, so
you have to. Great
you got to
drinks,
come
great
down, man. I'll
food.
take you. We'll go to a game together.
sick. Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe we can vlog it. And you can hop in too. We'll go with Mr. Padres community captain. We can put it on VR. That'd be sick.
Ian doesn't live
Let's
too
do it.
far. Him and I are actually going to be going to a game probably next year. We got to coordinate that.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
Let me know, and I might be able to fly out. So I mean, I got like I went to Fenway Wrigley last year. I got a couple others I'm trying to go this year before the season's over. So we'll see. I might be able to pull it off.
Perfect. Well, that'll do it for us tonight. We got that Padres series coming up. Ian, thank you again for joining us. Been a pleasure chatting with you. As always, we'll catch you over on the Bleacher Report side of things. RJ, thanks for joining me again. And to all of our listeners, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you all later. Take care.